as landowner, the return to land is determined by the community, and that means population. The increase of population increases land value, and when there's no population, you might own all the land in the valley, but it has no market value. It might be very useful, but until there are people to use it, it has no market value. So I don't want to get confused with the idea of market value and use value. When people come together, when population increases, land values, the price you have to pay for access to land or to buy it or to rent it goes up. The more population, the higher the price. And then there's all kinds of everything else that goes on in the community, all of the public services that are provided, all of the wonderful things that people do to make a living. Some people provide shoes, some people are school teachers, some people build houses. All of that activity then in the community is capitalized, is reflected in increasing land values. And then when the communities are sufficiently developed enough historically, the communities get together and they say, well, we need to provide some services. We need to build roads. We need to provide sewer systems. We need to provide schools publicly. These are all publicly paid for services that actually serve land. They serve locations. Police departments, fire departments, you name it. Every public service has the effect of all the public services. Certainly, the local service. Everybody understands this. It's obvious. Are served up and are served to locations. In other words, to the land in the community, and that further drives up the value of land. The better the services are, the better the schools are in a community, the more people are willing to pay for the land to build their houses there. One of the things that a current issue for many people, and it's causing lots of problems, is what is called the housing bubble, the housing boom and the housing bubble. In other words, the cost of housing has gone up enormously. And when you really analyze that, what is really going on, it's not the cost of the actual building, the house, that's gone up in value. That might go up some. The cost of building goes up a little bit over time, but it's really the cost of land that's gone up. The supply of land is fixed. The supply of houses can be, we can build as many houses as we want, but the supply of land is fixed. So its value has gone up exponentially, way beyond the actual cost of building the house. So when you talk about a housing bubble that's burst, what's burst is the high cost of land. And not only does land have a value that is created by the community, the real value based on what's really going on in the community, but because a landowner, and all homeowners, I'm a homeowner, I'm also a landowner. The current laws, which have been around for hundreds of years, allows me not only to have exclusive right to my land, but I get to keep the value that it comes to have, and the values have been going up. And because the landowner can keep that value, there's now, and it has been, incentives for a very long time to buy and sell land, not so much for use, but for investment, for speculation. And because land is an absolute necessity, everybody pays for land one way or the other, land values have been driven up not just in the ordinary fashion of increased population and that kind of thing, but they've been driven up what is called speculatively, so that people are willing to pay more for land now because they know that, or expect that down the road, they will be, in another year or two, that the value of the land on the market will go up beyond what they paid for it. So they're prepaying. People are buying into the land market when they buy a house, hoping that in a couple of years from then, when the purchase is made, that the actual land value will go up beyond what they paid for it, and when they sell it, they will make a profit. So the people are willing to pay more and more. This is the name of the real estate game. It's really a land speculation game for those who are just making money from owning and turning real estate around. But that affects everybody. Every homeowner, every individual needs access to land, needs a home, needs land to build their home on or to have it on. And so this has artificially driven up the cost of housing. The media always talks about the cost of housing going up, but it's not that. It's the cost of land that's going up. If they would ever talk about the true economics of what's going on, they would focus on the fact it's land value that goes up. And it wouldn't be a very far jump from that kind of a statement for people to get in their head is, oh, why is that going up? It's not because anybody made it. It's because the entire community creates this value, and it's because we allow people to buy and sell land and profit from the buying and selling that we've driven up the land values way beyond what their actual real values are in terms of a real economy. So now, if you're a newcomer into the economy, a young person starting a family, and want to buy a home, you have to pay a huge premium just to get a toehold in the real estate market. And most people, you don't actually own what you buy; you owe it to the bank. So what's the point of all this? So what George said is that it's this increase of land value and the speculation in land value. Not only just in the land under homes and buildings, but in land as broadly defined as all natural resources. These values have been driven up because population has increased. We have a demand for access to land. We have a demand for natural resources, and everybody needing these things has driven their price up. And then on top of that, people have been speculating with it, driving land prices and resource prices up beyond what they actually should be or could be, as justified by the actual need in production or for use and for homes. And the point of all of that is that all of that value, the entire value of land, is because it's 100% created by the community. When it's put into private pockets, that's why it's an unearned income. And it is the free lunch, of which there isn't supposed to be any in economics. So it's the free lunch to the small percentage of people who actually own all the land. It's said that 60% of people in the U.S. own their own homes. Well, that's nice. It's a nice percentage, but the truth of that is that most of these people owe a huge mortgage on when they bought their home, and they had to pay a huge amount of money for the land as well as the building. What George is suggesting is this: that value, since it's created by the community, land value, if the community needs a source of revenue, which it does, to provide all the services that it provides at the local level, county, state, and federal, the community should assess against the value that the community creates. The value that community creates is land value. It doesn't create any other economic value. That's it. The rest, all the other values are created by labor and capital. So if the community needs a source of revenue, he's saying, the community should assess against the value that it creates and take it back to the community and pay for that. That should be the primary source of revenue for the community. And what he actually said was that the 100% of all land value should be assessed against and taken back to the community, and that should be the only tax on that the community, whether at the local, county, state, or federal level, should assess. So what he's saying is, if we were to do this is how it would look. If you wanted a piece of land to do anything, to build your house, to work on, to whatever you wanted to do, you could access that for free. You could get title to land for free on the condition that you paid on a yearly basis 100% of the rental value of land. In exchange for that, the community would then use that source of revenue to pay for all the services that it provides. And in exchange for that, it would not tax your house, it wouldn't tax your wages, wouldn't impose a sales tax on any goods that you buy, wouldn't tax businesses of any kind. Simple enough. This is kind of the overview of what George was saying.